Now on CoastTV News.
Frankfurt Fire funding. The Roxana Volunteer Fire Company looks to expand. Details on the project and what community members think about it. A growing Milford. City leaders release new data on Milford's growth and development plans.
The storms are all can no bite, but the rain is still on the way.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
A firehouse fundraiser tonight. The Roxana Volunteer Fire Company trying to raise $5 million. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Tonight, leaders from the Roxana Volunteer Fire Company shared some details about their $5 million campaign to expand their Station 2 that's on Route 54. As Coast TV photojournalist Matt Hipsman shows us, some community members think that money should go toward recruitment.
We're having a campaign kickoff in collaboration with the Bethany Fenwick Chamber of Commerce. We're looking to upgrade our new station on the 54 corridor to increase response times and services to the residents.
They're pretty far away from the ocean front, so if anything ever happens there, it takes some time for them to get there. So, and unless Ocean City or South or Bethany is going to cover it, there's really a gap. I do believe there's got to be some type of substations at least manned during busy season to help out.
We just have a smaller station that can't house any of our employees, or if we have a storm or anything, we can't man that station. So it's needed in that aspect. And the cost of building is just continuing to rise regardless of if you're building a house or a commercial building.
Just because we have adequate funds at this time does not mean that we don't need it down the road.
Anything we can do to assist them in raising $5 million, the capital that's required to build a new fire company close to Fenwick Island, I would support that. With that being said, we also need to support and create new programs. We've got to get good programs in not just Roxana, but throughout the state of Delaware. Programs about recruiting, retention, and also raising of the money. And I highly suggest, actually, if we are a true volunteer company, I would suggest we actually create a program and start it in the high schools.
So the facet study is showing sustainability. We are nearing the top of that for Sussex County, which is a good thing, meaning that we've been responsible and that we're not going to go anywhere, and we're going to do the right thing.
Meanwhile, concerns are growing over how a fire company in Slaughter Beach handled its money. A state performance audit found that the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company did not follow certain policies, kept poor expense records, and lacked strong oversight. The review covered 2021 through 2023, and that's a period when state officials say the fire company received more than $2.6 million in state funds. Fire Chief Kent Glasgow told Coast TV today the company plans to implement recommendations from the auditor's office to correct those issues. Now we are looking live outside into Milford, and our first alert chief meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a check on the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you. And we've been monitoring what's been going on with precipitation, and it's been falling well to our north. We've had some concerns for tornadic activity up in portions of Philadelphia and then down all the way to the most southern tip of the Delmarva Peninsula. But here's where we stand right now. We have an active marine warning that's staying in effect until 11:45, going through Smith Island, Frenchtown, and Crisfield right now. It's headed towards Westover and headed towards Colburn. But also, we have even more intense cells. That's all the way down in Cape Charles, Capeville, Silver Beach, Exmoor, Broadwater. Now, this is the most southern portion of the Delmarva Peninsula at this point, and all of this is moving pretty steadily. Now, we have a cell that's just knocking on the door to the southwest of Salisbury right now. It hasn't prompted any watchers or warnings at this point, but it is causing some blinding rain, and we have a cold front that's beginning to slice through, and that's going to help to create another opportunity for more in the way of scattered showers our way. As far as what's happening going into Friday, we're looking for another round of rain that will be headed our way, and we'll talk about that in your full forecast. Till then, back to you, Christina.
Okay, thanks, Paul. And surely people coming to Ocean City this weekend are hoping for some good weather for the big music festival Ocean's Calling this weekend. It's expected to bring about 50,000 people to town. On your screen now is a look inside the three-day event. There's still some work to do, though, before the gates open on Friday. Crews are making some final preparations, and town leaders say they're expecting waves of people.
We're looking forward to a huge weekend here in Ocean City. We have 55,000 guests that will be down here for 3 days. We're kicking off Friday night.
Going to be a lot of fun, and businesses in Ocean City tell us they are also excited for the crowds. And by the way, the Oceans Calling Information Toolkit has been released. Organizers sharing some updated details to help those concert goers plan ahead. For those planning on taking an Uber, a Lyft, or any other ride-share service, the pickup and drop-off location is at the 4th Street Municipal Lot. The city of Milford is growing, and leaders just put out some new data to prove it. City leaders say on average 200 new housing units are built in the city per year, and at that pace they say all current and proposed projects would take 20 years to complete. In 2018, 45% of city land was available for development. This year that's down to about 30%. All those numbers are part of Milford's plan to grow responsibly, and one neighbor says he hopes city leaders keep that promise.
Development's a good thing when it's done with good taste. You know, when it's done out of financial intuitions and intentions alone, then it tends to spoil real quick. And I think that's kind of what we're starting to see right here a little bit.
And Milford city leaders say they're planning a workshop to go over all of these growth trends, but they say they don't have a date for that workshop just yet. The North Millsboro bypass had its ribbon cutting on Monday. It was slated to open earlier this week, but the weather pushed that to tonight. Coast TV reporter Brandon Ferguson gives us a bird's eye view of the North Millsboro bypass from our Coast Copter.
Christina, the bypass has 4 bridges in total and goes over the Millsboro Pond. And as we look down now from our Coast Copter, you can see them here. The 2-year bypass construction totaled at just over $140 million. On your screen now, you can see that red line. That's a previous route that drivers had to take. And now you can see the bypass highlighted by that green line.
It's utilized the way it's supposed to be. A lot of the truck traffic will be diverted, and a lot of the vacation traffic.
Late tonight, you will be able to access the North Millsboro bypass, and tomorrow morning it will fully be open. In the Coast Copter over the North Millsboro bypass, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
And we're going to go ahead and check in on our Coast TV poll now, because we want to know if you plan to use the bypass and what you're going to use it for most. Looking at the updated results, 32% say they're going to use it to skip that downtown traffic, 21% for a faster commute, 46% say they're rarely going to use it, but we got 1% using it for the truck route. We've been waiting for that 1% all day. And you can still vote. Let us know what you think. Go over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Well, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a grand jury in Alexandria, Virginia. Attorney General Pam Bondi releasing a statement this evening making it official. Comey is being charged with 2 counts, making a false statement and obstruction of a political proceeding. The charges stem from testimony Comey gave during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing back in 2020. Now, earlier in the day, President Trump told reporters that he was not involved in the decision. He also called Comey a, quote, sick person.
Well, I can't tell you what's going to happen because I don't know. You have very professional people headed up by the Attorney General, and Todd Blanche, and Lindsay Halligan, who's very smart, good lawyer, very good lawyer. They're going to make a determination. I'm not making that determination. I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so. I can only say that Comey's a bad person. He's a sick person. I think he's a sick guy, actually. He did terrible things at the FBI. And but I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Now, the statute of limitations for the charges was set to expire on Tuesday. Comey has always denied that he engaged in any wrongdoing. Authorities have identified Joshua Yan as the suspect behind a shooting at a Dallas ICE field office Wednesday that killed 1 person and left 2 others injured. As Mary Bell Gonzalez explains, they say his attack was planned and targeted.
The FBI Thursday providing an update on its investigation into the deadly shooting at a Dallas ICE field office.
This is something months in the making.
Officials say the suspect, 29-year-old Joshua Yan, left behind handwritten notes detailing his, quote, hatred for the federal government. Investigators believing he intended to target ICE personnel and property.
The tragic irony for his evil plot here,
is that it was a detainee who was killed and 2 other detainees that were injured.
Authorities believe the suspect acted alone and was not affiliated with any group. Last month, Yan legally obtained an 8mm bolt-action rifle used in the shooting, according to investigators.
Law enforcement officers found the sniper dead. They found bullets on the rooftop, one of which was labeled with the words anti-ICE.
President Donald Trump issuing a bold response to the shooting from the Oval Office Thursday.
The radical left is causing this problem, not the right, the radical left.
Trump suggesting that the incident could spark right-wing backlash, but adding that he didn't want to see any retaliation.
It's super irresponsible. I don't need to say unpresidential. It's irresponsible of anybody to attribute the violent, deranged actions of a single individual to a political party, Republican or Democrat.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
And we are just getting started this evening. Still ahead, resources and support for veterans looking for work. What was available in Dover today? But first, serving more than sandwiches. A century of stories lives on inside Wilson's General Store. That's the topic of this week's Coastal Connections.
Now, although we're still tracking some isolated thunderstorms, we've kind of tiptoed around our immediate area, but we take a look at our Bay forecast, watching out for scattered showers on Saturday in Cambridge, and perhaps a bit of rain fluttering through on Friday and Saturday in Crisfield. Your full forecast coming right up.
We all know Delaware is the first state, and with that comes a lot of history, a lot of old places. What was once a one-room schoolhouse in Georgetown evolved into a general store, and now it's widely considered the oldest deli in Delaware. In this week's Coastal Connections, Emma Aiken brings us to Wilson's General Store.
This little store in Georgetown has lived a lot of lives. First, it was a one-room schoolhouse in the 1890s. Then, in the 1930s, Marshall Wilson converted it into a rural country store. He named it Wilson's General Store. In the 70s, Marshall's son, Jim, took over.
Jim had the store for 80 plus years, him and his father, and they built quite a culture here. So when we bought it 3 or 4 years ago, we just built on that base culture.
That's Jim in the middle there. And on his sides, Laura Berberich and Tim Cupston, who've owned the store for the past few years, though Jim is still there most days.
He was the Grand Marshal, still is the Grand Marshal. We owe it to this guy.
Jim tells me you used to be able to buy everything at Wilson's. You could even walk into Wilson's and buy a sandwich and a gun in the same trip.
What caught our eye is when we first passed here, we saw the sign. It said sandwiches, firearms, ammunition, and notary.
And sitting behind those three is a group of regulars who can attest to those very memories.
We bought our guns, ammunition under Jim Wilson. He made a lot of money off of us.
Now Wilson's has evolved into mostly a sandwich shop. And it's widely considered the oldest deli in Delaware.
Once you try it and stuff, you'll not go to McDonald's or Hardee's. You'll come to Wilson's store because you'll get the best sandwich and the best price on Delmarva.
That's local Joe Pete, who's been here since the beginning.
I bought the first sandwich when this store opened.
Pete and his friends go to Wilson's just about every morning.
Joe?
Yes.
Please let me know about the sandwich we named after you.
Oh yeah, I got a sandwich up here.
So much so that Pete got his own sandwich named after him. Of course, the Delaware way, with scrapple.
This is a scrapple, bacon cheese.
I suggested that he gets one slice of scrapple, one egg on toast, and they named the sandwich after me. It's called Joe Pete.
Rang the cowbell, and he quieted down.
Pete says Wilson's is an escape.
It's horrible how things is, but when you come to a Wilson store, you get cheered up. I mean, you come out positive. We try not to be negative. Right, Bob?
Yes, you're right,
yeah, yes. We come out with a positive attitude.
And that bond goes both ways.
We have a lot of the same locals every morning, and they're part of the Wilson family, and we're proud to have them here.
The Wilson's family.
I'm not going to kiss him, but I'll shake his hand.
Laughter from the locals to the sizzle of the start of a sandwich. Wilson's isn't just a store or a deli, it's a living slice of Delaware history. For Coastal Connections, I'm Emma Aiken.
We've been tracking the rain and the thunderstorms throughout the night. Fortunately, it's been kind of dancing around us like, like we were precious territory. So that's a good thing. So whoever put that call out, it worked, okay? But we're looking live right now in Salisbury. We have a little bit of rain just around right outside of Salisbury at this present time. So we're at 74 degrees in Georgetown as well as Milton. It's 75 degrees in Dagsboro, 74 right now in Willards, Gumboro, as well as Delmar. Now, as we kind of widen the scope here, we're not seeing much in the way of precipitation in our immediate area, and we're starting to see some isolated thunderstorms rumble throughout the Crisfield area, and then well to our south of Chincoteague is where we have the next round of scattered shower activity that's been pushing throughout the region. And we're starting to see a few cells starting to redevelop just to south of Willards, headed towards Ocean View, but none of them have been severe. Good news, and I like passing along good news. No severe thunderstorm watches, warnings, nothing tornadic in our immediate area. Had some problems reported up in portions of Philadelphia, but not in our immediate area. By midnight or right after midnight, we're looking for Chincoteague for possibly, our models indicating we have a cell that's going to pop up there. 4 o'clock in the morning, we're in Crisfield, just around Salisbury, headed towards Ocean View. We'll have some early morning thunderstorms just before the sun comes up. But overall, we're still expecting for it to stay very quiet and cooperative. We've been downgraded from marginal to non-severe, as you would suspect, since things didn't work out. But when you're at marginal level, you're at the lowest level anyway, wasn't looking all that favorable, and that's okay. Because I like it when we have nice, clear, and wonderful non-life-threatening weather. Winds are going to be shifting out the west for Friday. We'll still have a chance of scattered showers in places like Rehoboth as well as Chincoteague and Bethany Beach. Taking a look at our rain chances. Now, we had our chances for Thursday, but we'll have another elevated chance really on Saturday, even more so a chance on Saturday. You see, Friday we may get a spot shower flaring up in Ocean City briefly, and for Friday morning. Now, as that begins to push through, we're looking for Saturday for the cloud cover to thicken for us, and we'll have another round of rain, of steady to moderate showers, actually. And we could see an isolated cell try to pop up by the time we get to Sunday. Now, as far as breaking down our expectation for rain going into the weekend Saturday, we could see up to an inch or just over that in Georgetown, close to that in Ocean City, and just shy of a half inch in Georgetown. So here's Sunday early in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. Monday, we see cloudy skies, but, hit and miss spotted showers. Nothing that's all that dependable till we get to Tuesday. Tuesday, we have a wall of rain. I don't think there's any model that's going to disagree with Tuesday for next week. Now, quick note. Tropical storm Umberto, sustained winds at 65. It's going to graduate to hurricane status here, become a Category 3, and then swing away from the coast, but it may drag an additional cell behind it, the one that's expected to develop behind it. That may cause us a problem if it becomes detached, but that's at least 10 days off. So Friday and Saturday, we're looking for scattered showers in our area. And here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Okay, thank you for that, Paul. Well, higher taxes could be coming to property owners in Delmar, Delaware. The school district there is planning a referendum for next year. District leaders tell us they need more money to build a new intermediate school, and a referendum would allow them to do that, also raise money for other needs. But this will ultimately be up to Delmar, Delaware voters. Some neighbors we spoke with say they would support the tax increase, and while one parent we talked to says he would be against it, he does have a few ideas of where any extra money could be spent.
Like to see more kids get a better education and worried about the sports and stuff like that. I just feel like that's where everything goes towards is that.
And Delmar School District leaders could not tell us how much taxes would go up, but they say they should have more answers soon. Today, Starbucks announced significant store closures and layoffs across the country. As Michael Yoshida reports, the move comes as we're also getting new data on the strength of the U.S. economy.
Starbucks set to close hundreds of stores this month. The company's CEO calling it a, quote, significant action to turn around its struggling business. An additional 900 corporate layoffs also announced, on top of roughly 1,000 layoffs earlier this year. The storied coffee chain has struggled to improve sales amid a changing economy and customer needs.
A lot of companies are doing the same right now. They are
weeding out non-performing stores, not making their profit margins.
But economists say the slim down at Starbucks isn't necessarily a harbinger of economic trouble, and it comes as new data from the Commerce Department shows the economy expanded in the second quarter. Gross domestic product, the broadest measure of economic output, grew at an annualized 3.8% rate from April to June, significantly stronger than previously reported.
The U.S. economy, once again, proves to be more resilient than had been thought. And obviously, it's had a lot thrown at it in recent years.
Consumer spending, which is the lifeblood of the U.S. economy, helped drive GDP higher, with Americans still opening their wallets despite ongoing fears around the economy, tariffs, and a cooling job market.
The big questions going forward really are, what is the strength of the job market, whether unemployment goes substantially higher from here, and of course the one thing that essentially all consumers want to be absolved of, inflation.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Coming up in sports, the Delmarva Sport Network's Friday night game of the night is on the way. You still have time to vote for who you think would win. You can stay tuned to see how. And coming up, a flu season forecast in tonight's Health Minute, the latest on vaccines and prevention.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
In Dover today, veterans had a chance to find their next job. A job fair and resource event was held this afternoon at American Legion Walter L. Fox Post 2. On hand were employers for industries like hospitality, healthcare, and law enforcement. The Department of Labor, which organized the event, says it's important for veterans to catch back up to the current labor market.
They come back from serving, maybe their skill sets don't align with the current markets that we have right now. And a lot of times they should, and they train them well, but at the same time, the job market is continuously rising and changing, and it's developing at a quick and fast pace. So what we try to do is help them get caught up and provide them with opportunities to kind of get back into the workforce here in the country.
And the Department of Labor says most veterans are just looking for the tools to get themselves back to feeling a sense of independence. Well, fall may mean colorful leaves, hay rides, and pumpkin spice, but it's also the time when flu viruses tend to start spreading. Health officials say now is the time to start protecting yourself and your loved ones. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on what to expect for the upcoming flu season.
It's almost that time of year again. Fall signals the start of flu season, which typically starts in October with peaks between December and February.
We're expecting this year to be moderate, but last year was severe. We had more illnesses, more hospitalizations, and more preventable deaths of children.
Dr. Sarah Nozel with the American Academy of Family Physicians says the best protection is to get the flu shot as soon as it's available to you, before the season gets into full swing. The CDC recommends everyone 6 months and older, with rare exception, to receive the vaccine, which is trivalent this season, meaning it protects against 3 strains of the influenza virus. Nozel says vaccination can help protect against severe disease.
Your body's ready to take on that fight. So instead of ending up in the hospital with pneumonia, you might have a runny nose for a few days, and you will be much less contagious.
For the first time this flu season, there's also an at-home flu vaccine available in 34 states. Flu Mist is a nasal spray approved for non-pregnant people between the ages of 2 and 49. Nozel says to talk to a doctor to make sure you're eligible to receive it.
You really need to check in if you have any of the medical conditions that would make it not safe to be given. It's for healthy young people.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. Happy Thursday. I hope you've been following along for the last few weeks of football action here on DSN. We've seen great games, close finishes, and power rankings shaken all the way up. And you're in luck, folks. There's more football and highlights and content coming your way for the rest of this fall season. This Friday, rather tomorrow that is, the Cambridge Sub-Dorchester Vikings host the Wahai Tribe. And we're asking all you football fans on the peninsula who you have coming out as the winner in that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the votes. So far, it seems like the Tribe are out to a huge lead in terms of those votes. We should see a great performance from both Bayside squads. And if you want to have your own impact on the results, don't worry. There's still plenty of time to vote All you have to do is go to delmarvasportsnetwork.com to visit our website. From there, click the Features tab, scroll all the way down to the Sports Poll option where you can make your selection. You can also comment on our website and our social media pages at Delmarva Sports to let your voice be heard on who you think will win our Game of the Night coming up on Friday. We'll have pregame coverage beginning with Down and Distance at 5 o'clock p.m., followed by Scoops and Scores at 5:30 ahead of our 6 p.m. kickoff. Make sure you tune in to DSN so you don't miss any of the action. And of course, yours truly will have the call alongside Dustin Mills. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Live in Salisbury, we had some soaked streets earlier, but have subsided. We still have some additional light scattered showers moving through Ocean Pines, Ocean View. Some additional showers coming off from Smith Island headed towards Westover and Pocomoke City. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Matthew Wilson of Lincoln. Congratulations. And you can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by Bronson, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thank you again, Paul, and thanks to you for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. You can always find more news and local weather on our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.